Hi everyone, I'm Michelle Kelly. Welcome to Be in the Change. I'm going to get started by reciting my inspiration. Our deepest fear is not that we're inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, which most frightens us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, and fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be? Your playing small does not serve the world. There is nothing enlightened about shrinking so that other people will not feel insecure around you. We are all meant to shine as children do. We were born to make manifest the glory of God that is within us. It is not just in some of us, it is in everyone. And as we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give others permission to do the same. As we are liberated from our own fear, our presence automatically liberates others. Marianne Williamson. I'd like to say welcome to everybody who's watching me for the first time, and welcome back and thank you to everybody who's watching me on this journey. I started in 2019 stating I was breaking up with fear, I was breaking up with shame, and I was breaking up with guilt, and reporting back to you every week that it wasn't breaking up with me. And then last year it was to be kinder and more compassionate to myself. And this year, 2021, was to break up with sugar. And I am still broken up with sugar, and I survived Easter. I did have cranberry sauce with my turkey on Easter, and that has a little bit of processed sugar in it. I allowed myself that, and that was it. So I survived with no candy, no chocolate, none of that, which is a miracle, seriously. And my son is harping on me. He's like, Mom, are you never going to eat another piece of cake again? And I'm like, I can't answer that. Like, it's kind of like, it's like being a recovering alcoholic. Like, I hope I never do that again, but I can't promise that I won't. I don't want to right now. And I hope that I never do, but like, you can't promise. And, food is a harder habit to break. Like I'm thinking of that song, Hardest Habit to Break, from who was it? Chicago? I can't remember, but I used to love that song when I was a teenager. So anyway, trying to be kinder and more compassionate to myself for the sugar, for the breaking up with fear, the breaking up with shame, and the breaking up with guilt. I just want to tell you, I was talking to you guys last week that, you know, I'm the person that people come to when they don't know where else to go, which I think is such a miracle and a gift. But you got to wait a really long time for people to hit their, oh shit, I think I'm going to call Michelle. I'm like the after person. But as I'm this after person, and I know that this is part of my gift, and how I'm supposed to use it, I'm still figuring it out. But telling you guys where I am on this journey, I have a really good friend who put up a thing the other day, and she's like, I'm on this path with no map, no direction, and it's hard. And I feel the same way. I'm on this road with no map, no direction, and it's hard. And I sent back to her, and I know God speaks through me all the time. It's because we're the people, she's the person that's meant to make the map. And I'm one of the people that is here sent to help make the map. But it sucks, and it's hard. And we're in a world where everybody is taught to do everything ass backwards, which I used to too. And we all end up in the same place eventually, no matter which way you go about it, which is unhappy, in addictions, and having material objects and still not being happy. So, it doesn't fulfill you in the way that you thought it would or hoped it would, but we all have to take our route in order to get where I am now. So it doesn't mean it's not going to suck. It doesn't mean it's not going to be hard. It's not going to mean that I'm not going to have bad days, that I don't want to say screw this, because I would love to say screw this. I would love to say, I don't want to do this anymore, and I'm tired and I'm exhausted and this is hard, and it's hard to find people to help me with where I am on this path, because there's not a lot of people that are where I am spiritually, emotionally, physically. I am not well. And something happened last week. I had a flare up again. And every time I have a flare up with my neck and my back, it's like I've never had this before. It hits me every single time like it's the first time, and it is devastating. And I hate it, and it takes my energy, and I pretend like I'm not like this. And then the depression hits, and I, even today, am depressed. I'm not as depressed as I was the past 2 days, where I was like, I had no energy and I was exhausted. And I was brought up like, if you were depressed, you were lazy. And I never wanted to be lazy. And what I'm realizing is I'm not lazy. I'm not a lazy person, but I am also sad, and I am grieving. I am grieving things that I never had the chance to grieve. And it's in my body still. And pretending like stuff isn't happening doesn't mean it doesn't get trapped and stored in your body. So in this pandemic, in this time, plus we're in a pandemic, this is a horrible time for everybody, but I've been given this opportunity to grieve. And part of the grieving process is with anything, which first is denial, like this isn't really happening. And then it's anger, and you're like pissed. And then there's like a sadness for the loss. And I'm grieving the loss of my old life, the way that I thought it was supposed to go, and it didn't. I'm also grieving my body is not performing the way that it used to. I'm also grieving the loss of my best friend, which is sugar. And it wasn't my friend. And finding out that things aren't your friend is a very sad place to be. And I have a few friends that have been talking to me through this, and they're like, Michelle, we're so happy you're like this. And I was like, I don't want people to see me when I'm at my lowest. But part of the beauty of healing and getting better is allowing people to see you when you are at your lowest. People come to me when they're at their lowest, and I need to be able to do the same, which is very hard for me equally. So I have friends that are actually relieved when I said I'm depressed. And the fact that I can even say it out loud and acknowledge it, I don't feel nearly as guilty about it as I used to. Part of it is, you know, I didn't want to be considered a depressed, lazy person that doesn't drink, doesn't do drugs, doesn't have sugar, and still has, you know, these things going on, which is, you know, my body's not great, and I get sad and depressed, and, you know, some days are so hard for me to even function. I can, and I force myself to, but it is so hard. It is like this X-ray cape comes down over my body, and I hate it. And I cry and complain about it like it's never happened to me before, like it's the first time every time. And I wished it would go away, but it hasn't left me yet. So that's where I am this week. I'm coming out of a depression of grieving the things that I thought were here to help me, and they're not. And there's a sadness in that. So, and then, you know, God sends me angels to help me get through it. So All of them are watching this video right now, so thank you so much. And please stay tuned, stay safe, and I will see you all next week.